I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Kathy Wilkins. Here. Kevin McElwain.
Here.
Ted Odendahl.
Here.
Patrick Sellers.
Here.
Kathy Altensee is not on the phone.
Right.
Okay, so we have a quorum.
All right. The first order of business is approval of minutes for the October 1st, 2025 meeting. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Wilkins, second by Odendahl. Please take a look at the minutes. Do you have any comments? Now is the time.
Yeah, I had a question on, two questions. I noticed there was a change in the minutes from the original version.
There's probably a couple changes.
Yeah, mainly the change, we're talking about the discussion regarding, possibly funding the Boys and Girls Club. And there
Yeah,
a
that
si-
was Ted's contribution. I was gone,
Okay.
so Liz put his suggestions into the minutes and sent them out.
Gotcha. So, question is, if I recall the conversation correctly, I don't think that's where we landed to say that it's an appropriate expense. 'Cause if I remember correct, I remember you kind of mentioned it was a mandate. And the supervisor Sellers said, well, it's not a mandate. Only thing that's a mandate is general assistance and assessor's office. It was kind of left at that.
No, well, I didn't say it was a mandate.
Right.
What I said was, I think I used the word core.
Appropriate.
I
Oh,
used
no,
the
that's
word
who you use core. Yeah.
And maybe that's, you may not want to use that word.
Yeah.
What I was saying is, there are essentially, I believe, 8 different areas in the statute that townships can address. These are things other than general assistance. These are things that they specifically say are appropriate for townships to address if they want to do that. So youth is one of those, as is senior services, for example. So what I was saying is that it's a core element in the sense that it's one of these 8 identified areas within the statute.
So,
And I wasn't saying, I'm not even suggesting at this point that we do something with Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
What I'm suggesting is that we look at doing something for youth. I use that as an example, as I also used the example of giving scholarships. These are what other townships are doing.
right.
But my concern is to consider actually doing something for the youth of the town. That's what I'm interested in.
So the question is, because I don't think we've ever really had the discussion about youth services as a separate category. So before we use the term appropriate in the minutes, I want to make sure that term is accurate to use, and we're okay with using that term to describe township's role in youth services as being appropriate. Because we've
Well-
never really had that discussion before, so I just want to make sure that is accurate before we accept it into the minutes.
Are you saying that, let's see where that's used. So you're saying in my presentation, my saying that it's recognized as an appropriate township function. I'm saying it's
minutes.
recognized as an appropriate township function. You may disagree with that, but that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think that's what you're saying, that's what's in the minutes. I think we need to come to an understanding if that's accurate or not.
Mike.
Well,
100%
what's
sure.
accurate and important in the minutes is whether it's accurate that I'm saying that. And it is accurate that I'm saying that.
I think
Whether
that's
the
the
whole
part-
board agrees with that is another
Right,
matter.
but I think the fact that you're just saying I'm accurate and saying it's appropriate, I think we need to discuss and make sure that is accurate. That's the part I
The
wanna
word
make
should be
sure.
authorized, as suggested by Attorney Phillips. The word should be authorized as opposed to appropriate. But you said the word appropriate, right? If he said the word appropriate in the minutes, then it has to be reflected in the minutes as the word appropriate, right,
The
Mike?
minutes have to reflect what was said.
What was
not
said in the
was
meeting.
intended to say.
What was said in the meeting was core.
Ah, Okay.
Well, that was that too, if you wanna include that, I don't
I looked at the
object to that.
video and you said
saying that.
core.
Yeah, I'm saying that this is a core function.
So core is not what was said, but appropriate is what's in the minute. So it's multiple things. So I'm just like,
So could we amend
I
this
have,
to use the
I
word
have no
core?
objection if you want to make a motion to adjust the
Amend,
minutes
yep.
to say core.
Okay, we'll make a motion to amend the minutes to reflect the word core as opposed to the word appropriate.
I have no objection.
Is that okay?
So we're gonna amend the minutes to what now?
To use the word core as opposed to
Okay.
the word appropriate. Recognized as a core township function as opposed to appropriate.
And I want you all to know that one of the things that I do is add this here so you can see the video.
You have the link at the bottom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
word core instead of
Appropriate, yes.
If that needs a second, I'll second that.
So who made the motion?
First of all, I need a motion to amend the minutes to reflect the word core as opposed to the word appropriate.
I'll make the amendment, I'll make the
Wilkins?
Yes, made a motion. Now we need a second.
motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. So, all in favor for this amendment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's accepted. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes as a whole, as amended, right, Mike?
No,
already
you
have.
had a motion to approve the minutes already,
Oh, okay.
and now you
Okay.
just amended the minutes.
Got it.
But now you need a vote on, to approve the minutes as amended.
As amended, okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
so
Aye.
And that was,
McElwain and
I'll
who
second.
seconded?
and Odendahl. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. All right. The next order of business is the approval of bills payable. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All righty, motion by Wilkins, second by Odendahl. Please take a look at the bills payable if you haven't done so already.
I have nothing to do with that part,
What part?
the bills paid.
What's wrong with the bills payable?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Because there's nothing wrong with it. Any questions on the bills payable, trustees? Okay, seeing that there is none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Wilkin?
Aye.
Odendahl?
Aye.
McElwain?
aye.
Sellers?
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, the next order of business is the approval of ordinance number 2025 TO02 real estate tax levy for fiscal year 2026-2027. We've had our motion and our second. We've had our discussion. Now, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay. Wilkins?
Aye.
Odendahl?
Aye.
McElwain?
Aye.
Sellers?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. Okay. The next order of business is the supervisor's report. I don't have any handouts, but I will have some numbers for you guys at our next meeting as far as our client numbers go. And I will have some information, hopefully from our Jumpstart program, as well as our assistance with NICA. I have numbers for all that for
Okay.
you guys. Okay?
That's for the rental
Yep.
increase, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Okay? Let's see, is there anything else that I have?
You said Jumpstart and also NICA?
Yep, Jumpstart, NICA, and our client numbers.
I got that, okay. And what's NICA now? For what they're,
For the rental assistance that we have?
okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
so we'll have those numbers as well. And that is all that I have. Next order of business is the assessor's report. He's not here, so. Moving on, next order of business is trustees report. Trustees.
Well, I guess I would just say again that I hope we could put a matter on the agenda to consider creating a youth committee, to consider what the township might do for youth in the town.
Now, please understand this. If there is anything that has to do with youth service at the township, is responsible for, that's the responsibility of the board, not of the supervisor. Yeah, that's how it works, Mike.
It didn't say a word.
Yeah, that's how it works. So if there's a youth services committee you guys want to have, you guys can have it. If there are services that we're going to provide to youth through the township, that's the board's responsibility, not the supervisor's responsibility. Okay?
So, couple of things from that. Okay, so just to level set.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're, according to what Attorney Phillips said, we're authorized to provide youth services, but it's not a core or a mandate. Is that
It's not a
accurate?
required
It's not a
action.
It's not a required
No.
action.
Three required functions: general assistance, assessment, and if you have it, a road district, which we don't.
Right.
Right.
Those are the three main functions.
Those are the three mandates.
Okay. All right.
We used to have a youth services bureau here.
Mhm.
I was on it for a while,
Mhm.
back when I was in ASA,
Mhm.
but that was 40-some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this, okay, so good, thank you. So the level set, anything like youth services is an optional thing we're authorized to do. It's not part of our core mandate that we have to do it.
Right.
Okay, so we're on the same page with that.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So can you explain more, if we were to go down that path, that it would be the board's responsibility
Yes.
to do it? What does that, like,
What that means
look like?
is,
yeah,
let's say you're going to have a youth function. You guys want to have a youth function, and there is things that need to be done within those functions. Like you need people to do this, and this. That doesn't fall on me. That falls on the board to find those people to do those things. Now I will help, as a member of the board. I will help, but it won't fall on me as the lead person. It'll fall on the entire board.
so your responsibility, so your management responsibilities basically is just over the general
General
assistance.
assistance. Yes. And the ex officioso of the township. So I'm also responsible for the finances. If something goes wrong, if anybody gets in trouble, it's me.
So programs outside, programs not connected to general assistance.
Right.
Basically, the board has to figure out the
So-
people and how to do that.
So I'll give you a prime example. Let's say the township wants to have a food pantry, and the board says the township wants a food pantry, and the township wants to employ people to be running the food pantry. Those people are employees of the board, not of the township supervisor. So the board has to set the salary. The board sets the job descriptions. The board sets the hours. The board does that, not me. That's how it works, guys.
So essentially, any youth services things that are done, we essentially have to hire staff for.
Possibly.
Well, we would either have to take it on ourselves or hire staff. It would be one or the other.
Possibly.
Because if it can't be done through you or current employees of the township office, I guess I would figure out it'll have to be, it's either one or the other, us or.
What the structure that they suggest and that they allow for in the statute is the structure a youth committee. That would actually involve people outside of the board also. Now, what that committee does, it may not directly on its own do anything. It may coordinate activities with other organizations or whatever, but it gives a focus to having something happen within the town to potentially make a positive impact in that arena. And that's what I'm concerned about, and what I'm hearing, and I thought everybody being concerned about in terms of things that we have happening in town and things that we need to try to help go in a different direction. Now, how much we can do in that, that's a question, but you have to begin by structuring the committee and considering it, and considering what the possibilities are.
Can I ask a question? Where would the funds come from?
That was my question.
Yeah.
There wouldn't necessarily be any funds. I mean, obviously, it takes money to accomplish a lot of things, but not everything is accomplished with money. Sometimes things are accomplished with effort and focus and coordination and collaboration and getting people moving in the same direction and supporting things. There may be other people that have money. To the extent that there is money needed, you know, there may be money available, there may not be any money available. If there's not any money available in the township, it doesn't mean that the township couldn't receive donations from people that were interested. But that's a question pretty far down the line, I think, when we don't even know if it's a matter of needing money.
Can we receive donations as a taxing body?
Sure.
Okay.
The question for most people will be, are they tax deductible from federal income tax purposes? That's a whole different question, which I'm not gonna touch.
So I guess where I'm at is, at some point, just thinking down the line, at some point, money's gonna be needed. And that money's gonna either have to come from our township budget. Well, it's gonna be three sources: either our current township budget, requesting an increase for the next levy, not this one we just voted on, but the one the year after, or donations. Looking at the other needs in the community, that township, where we're like the only function available to help, I would think our priority would need to be there. Because with this current administration, we just don't know what is gonna happen. We already had the issue with SNAP benefits, which caused, luckily it wasn't a long ripple, but it did cause a short-term ripple. We got like 3 more years to go with this administration. And there's no telling what's gonna happen, where we might need to step in to help take care of people's basic needs of clothing, food, clothing, and shelter. So that's one piece. The other piece is, I don't know if I'm in favor of township doing that much in youth services when there are multiple organizations in the city already looking at youth services stuff. It just seems like we'll be expending energy duplicating stuff that other organizations that already exist are doing, should be doing, maybe could be doing more. I just think township probably should reserve our resources for those areas where it's not being duplicated already. Because like for what you're talking about, it sounds like that could easily be done now, either through, the Boys and Girls Club itself could have a youth committee. I know the school district is doing things. There are other, I just saw online last week that the Northern Illinois Foundation is doing, there's other things happening in the community surrounding youth already. So I would think maybe there needs to be some coordination of those efforts or organizations. Is probably a better place than township. Again, just thinking our priorities needs to be on things that other agencies aren't doing. So that's, and then the concern of funding long term. So, but that's just me. I'm just one trustee, so that's just where I'm at.
Well, I guess my question would be, I don't know how much we want to get in. If we want to have the discussion today, that's fine. I was suggesting that we put it on the agenda to have the discussion. But if we want to have it right now, then that's fine.
It's whatever, however you guys want to do it, but allow me to say this, trustees, allow me to say this. We are talking about servicing the youth and youth services. That's fine and dandy. We gave $18,000 to help the food pantries. Is that not helping our youth already? Mm-hmm. We gotta feed them. We have to feed. We have to feed them if they're in a situation where they are in need. Us helping in emergency services to keep lights and gas and water on, is that not helping youth as well. It's helping the families, right? So I understand youth services, and that's a broad field. But I want them clothed. I want them sheltered. I want them fed. That's where our thoughts should be, guys, because this is not going to get any better. You said it yourself. We have 3 more years of uncertainty. So we are trying to plan and prepare for the unknown already. I get what you're saying. Youth services is very important. But I get what you're saying as well. There are already mechanisms in place to provide those services. What Township does, and I've said this since 2013, we find gaps and we fill them to the best of our abilities. That's what we do. And that is what has made us successful as an organization. We are fiscally responsible with taxpayer money. We utilize taxpayers' dollars to help citizens in need. Not just the ones who are just poor and don't have anything. The ones who are working and just can't seem to make ends meet, we help them as well. So we've extended services. And those services we've extended are helping youth as well. That's just my take on it. So the floor is back open for discussion.
Well, the format, in terms of looking at it, usually is to set up a committee, and the committee is not, doesn't have to involve all of the trustees. I think there is a value. I mean, you talk about possibly there should be collaboration. Well, possibly there should be, and that may be a mechanism to provide some leadership for collaboration. It may be something that doesn't go anywhere. I don't see the harm in investigating the possibility when what I'm hearing regularly is that there is a significant problem. When we talk about the problems of violence, we're talking about a problem which very often impacts young people, and in many cases is perpetuated or contributed to by young people. To be in a position to potentially have some impact on that and provide some leadership seems to me to be a value that should be at least considered.
I understand. But it wasn't too long ago I provided the crime reduction plan to this city.
What I'm saying is we don't have to ask somebody else to do something. We can do something.
Hold on, Ted, 1 second. You were talking about impacting crime. The township can impact crime in the city of Freeport.
Well, I
Only
think
the city of Freeport can do that, right? They can do that. We don't have any jurisdiction over that. There was something given to the city and they didn't use it.
I would disagree with you in that we don't have any jurisdiction over anything that can impact it, because we do potentially have the ability to do something to impact youth, and that could do it. And that is appropriately part of our function if we want to take it.
Impacting crime.
Well, I'm saying if you have a positive impact on youth, it potentially can be a positive impact as far as reducing crime.
And what impacts are you proposing what are you proposing that we do?
I'm proposing that we begin by forming a committee, getting
committee.
a group of people who are interested in looking at the possibilities and seeing if there's something that we can do.
I guess what I would say is that could be done without township. Like, I don't see how township adds any value to that or making it happen. Like, I don't see township having any authority or influence where if township does it, it's gonna happen and people are gonna come together in a way that can't happen with other organizations that already exist doing the same thing.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say it couldn't happen without township, but that's not the same as saying, therefore, we shouldn't try to do anything when we have the potential to possibly do something.
But they already have the leadership in place, so what's our leadership going to do to sway them to do anything else
Who
other?
has the leadership in place?
The other organizations like Girls and Boys Club, right? I mean, they have things in place, the District 145 that they deal with the kids and stuff like that. So what is gonna be our impact to that? Because there's already leadership there.
Well, there's certainly leadership in those entities, there's no question about that. And maybe we would get together, talk with those entities, and maybe they would say, there's no point in this. You shouldn't think about having any role in it.
But
And
the
if they
part-
do, then that's
I guess-
their response.
I guess the part that I'm still struggling with though is those conversations can happen without anything from township. You could, like, everything you're proposing to us, you could propose to them to do, to form a committee to look at.
Who's gonna propose it to do them? Why, my point is, if we can do it and we wanna see it done, why don't we do it? We're authorized to do it.
All because we're authorized to do it doesn't mean we should be doing it. And in this community, I think there are already other agencies in place already looking at that.
Well, then, what I hear you saying is, we shouldn't bother with it.
Yes, as township, I don't
Okay.
think we should be bothering with it because.
Well, that would be a disagreement, because I think we
Yeah,
should bother
yeah.
with it.
And that's fine. I mean, we're not going to agree on everything, but
Well, I've been bothered with it for years. And my question is, where's everybody else been?
Well, I'm here now, I'm here now, and I'm
I
suggesting
I
it.
know you're here now, and I know you're suggesting it, and I appreciate your suggestion, but the fact of the matter is, it's going on, right? Where's everybody? Meeting. Everybody is meeting and nothing's getting done.
Nothing gets done simply because you meet, but nothing gets done if you don't meet and make a plan and do something.
Okay.
So I'm not saying if we form a committee, the problem is solved.
Okay.
I'm saying I think it's worth forming a committee to see if we can have a positive impact on helping solve the problem.
so I guess sitting as a township trustee, cause that's, I mean, I'm looking at this through the angle of a township trustee, not as a private citizen.
Right.
So looking at it through the lens of a township trustee, I don't see how township resources are going to add any value to what you're proposing. There are already youth organizations in place. I mean, you have a Boys and Girls Club, Freeport School District. I believe the NAACP has or had a youth committee. You have, again, there are multiple things out here where people are already, like Kathy said, there are already people who are leading things that are already impacting youth. And looking as a township trustee, our priorities need to be for the needs of providing food, clothing, and shelter first. And that's number one. And number two, our services I personally think our services should be extended to where there's already efforts in the community doing it already. We should be filling gaps or things that others in the community can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So again, looking at it from the lens of a township trustee and where our priorities should be in our resources.
Can I ask a question, Ted? For this, forming this committee and doing another youth thing, what is that going to do that the other groups are not doing?
I think it would provide some emphasis and collaboration. I'm not suggesting we go out and reinvent the wheel and try to do something on our own. Absolutely, I think you should be connecting with the other groups. And if the other groups all come together and say, you know, Township, we would rather you just stay out of this, say, okay, hear the message. But I'm not sure that would be the message. I think sometimes it takes some leadership and some offer of involvement to get people working together more effectively.
So am I hearing you saying that the other groups you don't think are effective?
I'm saying that we certainly have problems that have not been solved.
Okay.
So I think everybody who's doing something,
Mhm.
it would want to be more effective if they could. Anything that would support them and helping them be more effective, I think they would consider an advantage.
So personally, I don't see how me going to this committee or, going and sitting on their board or whatever, what value as a township I could give to them if they're already collaborating. What do I bring as a trustee to them that they're gonna have like this big epiphany that it's like, oh, yeah, I didn't think of that, because when you're in those work groups, I'm thinking that they're already dissecting things to try to figure that out. So how could I bring, what am I as a trustee going to bring value to them that they're going to say, hey, I never thought about that, gosh.
Well, I mean, first of all, this is not anything that would be expected for every trustee to be involved
Oh, I
in.
understand that, I guess that's a general question as a trustee, not personally.
Mhm.
I did say, that, but as a trustee, as a role, what would that, how could that even?
Because how would either one of us,
Yeah,
any trustee.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
That's where I'm coming from.
yeah.
Well, I think the township does have some position. It speaks for the whole town in the way that other organizations don't. So I think it has the potential of being an added element to an equation that can possibly help produce a little more. Maybe not. Maybe that would be investigated and it would be determined, no, there's really
I
nothing
sat
else
on
we
this
could bring.
on the city's crime
Mhm.
prevention committee. If I'm not mistaken, it was back in 2016, 16 or 17, I think. And we had one meeting. One meeting. Trust you'll know we had one meeting. And crime was just as bad back then as it is now. When we had one meeting, so this youth services committee that you want to form, and you mentioned crime. How much of an impact would that committee have if you have a city that only met one time for crime prevention? How much of an impact would that committee have?
Well, I would say if they only met one time, they weren't getting very good leadership from the city. So I would hope that maybe the township could provide better leadership in that arena than what the city has.
And with that leadership, and with our ideas that we come out of with this committee, how do we enforce that and get those ideas implemented without the city's approval?
Well, first of all, I don't know if the city would be on the outside or not. They may or may not be.
Oh, they would be.
But, okay. Then you have what you have currently with one additional element. You have your other organizations that are concerned about the issues, and you have township as an additional element.
Got it.
And you just have a little bit more weight and a little bit more power and position to try to bring something forward.
I think
But it still comes
unfortunately,
down to a vote.
township doesn't have any weight or authority over things that could really impact crime or those things in the city. We don't have that. We don't pull those levers. We don't have influence over those levers.
We have influence over the condition of youth in our town if we want to have it.
Condition
We want
of
to
youth.
commit to that.
what can township do to improve the condition of youth? Like, within what we had the levers to control, the levers that control the conditions of youth in this community are I would say the school district and the city of Freeport are the two biggest levers that will impact the condition of youth in the city. Seconded by the organizations that already exist. Boys and Girls Club, like I said before, I think NAACP has or had a youth committee.
DHS, places like DHS.
There's the Northwest Illinois Foundation that just has a program that kicked off. There's so many other levers in this community already. I just don't see where township is going to add any more value or push those, or make it more, or force other people to push those levers. I just don't see it.
I don't think you can force other people, but I think you can provide leadership, and you can encourage collaboration, and you can help bring focus to the situation.
That's fine and dandy. But if we all want to draw our line in the sand, our line in the sand should be, we need to be available to help people when this situation that we're having gets worse, because it's going to get worse, period. It's going to get worse. So I understand we need to focus on the youth and stuff. We're doing that. When we're helping to feed them, when we're helping to provide shelter, we're doing that. Now, the other mechanisms that could be put in place or that are in place, the Boys and Girls Club have those mechanisms in place. The school district, they have those mechanisms in place. You have this new CEO program, that entrepreneur program. That's a great mechanism that's in place. What more do you think should be put in place that township should be doing? And I understand about providing leadership and meeting and talking about it. That's fine and dandy. But what is it that you want to see township do?
I want to see them take a role where they have the potential to have some impact, and where we have said this is important and is a value. So I want to embrace the possibility of doing that. That doesn't take away anything from what's being done in the other areas. Setting up a youth committee and bringing in outside people to be connected there doesn't take anything away from other activities that we're already doing.
But we also like the United Way. The United Way has connections to every single organization that would impact youth. I mean, again, I haven't been directly involved in the United Way in about a decade or so. When I was involved, there were like youth services was like a major arm of the United Way. I mean, again, maybe that no longer exists, but the influence the United Way in this community has with respect to organizing people is way stronger than township. I mean, United Way had their R3 grant, which aim was for crime reduction, and which you were a part of. You had a whole lot of participation. Anytime the United Way does something, that's basically like an automatic blessing to get behind. If the United Way is doing it, the movers and shakers of Freeport get involved. If it's got the United Way stamp of approval, it gets attendance and support. The United Way's influence is way bigger than townships. There's other I guess there are so many organizations in town that are already involved with the youth that have so much more influence already than township has. I just don't see where we're going to add any more value to that.
I think it could add a great deal of value to it. I think we would get United Way to support it.
So here's the question though, how come the United Way and these places aren't doing it already? I mean, you as a private citizen could go to them and say, hey guys, we need to do this. I mean, there's nothing preventing you as a private citizen to work with these other, I mean, you speak of collaboration, but it's like, there's nothing preventing you as a private citizen to make happen everything you're saying.
That's quite true, and then that may be exactly what has to happen, that I have to act as a private citizen. What I'm trying to do is act as a township trustee and say, here is an area where the township apparently feels, as I do, it's a critical issue, and where by statute, we have the ability to try to have an impact. I'm saying, I think we should try to have an impact. I think that would be worth our effort. And if you know, everybody else disagrees with me, then I'll have to go focus on what I do as a private citizen. But it wouldn't make sense to me, I don't think I would be fulfilling my role as a trustee if I didn't at least bring that to the township board and say, isn't this a possibility? Isn't this something that we might be able to do to make this town better?
I mean, that part is 100% true. I mean, as trustees, each of us should be bringing things to the board
Yep.
for discussion and debate and to see if it's a good idea. So you bringing it here is exactly what any of us should be doing.
And this is a good discussion too. Good discussion.
So, so bringing it is definitely, what we all should be doing, you know. I think in this case though, it's one of those things where we just don't agree on it, but it coming up here for discussion definitely is what we as trustees should be doing, so.
Well, I would request respectfully that you put it on the agenda to have a motion to form a youth committee, and we take a vote on it. And it can be an immediate vote at when the next time it comes up, or it can have discussion and be delayed until certain information is gathered, or whatever people feel is appropriate. But I think we should make a statement as a board. Are we going to step forward and do something in this area or not?
And
What-
when you say to form a youth committee, are you thinking of other trustees or people in the community?
It would be primarily people in the community.
Okay.
Again, the statute lays out how the structure of the youth committee would be, and it would, I think it has to have at least one trustee, as I recall, and I don't know that it's limited. I think there could be more trustees, but there's a prescribed number or suggested number.
Okay.
So you want this on the next agenda? Is that what you
Well,
want?
I think that's good. I mean,
If you're
Yeah, I'm
requesting this,
okay
this is
with
fine,
that.
I'll put it on there,
Yes.
as long as everybody approves,
Yeah, I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
because
Yeah.
everybody has to approve that, right? Right, Michael?
We don't have any rules of procedure
No.
that indicate how things get on the agenda.
On the agenda. If
Yeah.
you,
But by consensus is asked and doesn't seem to be the objection, so.
Right, okay,
so to
I
make-
just wanna make sure that I get it on the agenda. Okay,
Yeah.
it sounds good. I will do that.
but I do want to say this. We as township, we do have a concern for our youth. And that concern has been expressed multiple times. And efforts have been put forward to help our youth multiple times. So it's not like this is something that's being brought new to this board. The establishment of a youth services committee is something being brought to the board. But our concern for the youth is not anything new. So, again, I think this is good to be placed on the agenda, have more discussion and vote on it, so the board can make the decision. It's not a Pasilla decision, this is a board's decision. If the board says we should establish one, we'll follow the guidelines, we'll establish it. If the board say no, then the answer is no. And so I think it's good that it's being brought onto the agenda. We've had great discussion tonight, and thank you guys. Thanks, Ted, for bringing it up. Thank you, Trustee Wilkins. Thank you, Trustee McQueen, Trustee Oldendorf, for bringing it up and having great discussion tonight. This was good. I appreciate it. All right, the next order of business is public comment. Any public comments?
Before beauty.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, I'm Steve Carroll. Okay, Ted, you seem to indicate the township has not had any impact over the years. Well, since 2013, it has. Prior to that, it didn't. let's see, over the years, a few years ago, the Emergency Water Assistance Program, which kept the water going for some folks that desperately needed it. $70,000, if I got it right. Then, COVID hit, 2020. Disinfectants, paper products were scarce, hard to get. Township got them, distributed them. Recently, Township partnered with the city, oh boy, and got some of our streets patched. It was so successful, the city didn't want it anymore. Now, Ted, what you're talking about, you seem to think the township's got like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow to fund every little pet project that you want to have going. I would caution all of you, let's be very careful that we don't go back to those bad years of Free Ride Hooper and the Hooperites, because township was a joke then. Be very, very careful. Ted, you want to help youth? In the words of former building inspector John Menke, let's give our youth better neighborhoods to grow up in. Get real, Ted.
Shane Orlo, I don't know if I can share a screenshot, but you definitely said mandate, Ted. It's on the screen. Anyways, after that, as an employee of the school district, I find it kind of blatantly offensive that you don't know about some of the things that are happening in this community for our youth. We've had food drives, we've had pantry help from the township. I'm about to grab some bags of clothes today to help some youth out. And what I suggest is that maybe you go to a school board meeting instead of a township meeting, because then you might find out what some of those things are that are happening in this community. The township should not be involved with the school district or any of these other things unless they need to. I agree with Mr. Sellers. We fill gaps. I was sitting in that chair and I was advocating for the youth of this community. Maybe the people need to have somebody that is going to go to the school district and figure out what's going on in order to collaborate with the organizations that are already doing what you're asking for.
Any other public comment? Any other business coming before the town? Seeing that there is none, I entertain a motion to adjourn until Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.